Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm filming from inside of my car. I tried to dig out my car and go to the gym, but unfortunately the streets are still covered in snow. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna do a toy review from inside my car. So this is the Submariner from the Black Panther line that just came out on the Marvel Legends line. In this line, you build an Okoye. Really cool figures in this line. You get the Black Panther, you get Killmonger, you get I'm gonna butcher her name, I apologize, but you can get Nakia. You can get Black Bolt, and you get NAMOR, which is a figure we're going to review. And then you also get Iron Man. I forget which armor that is, but supposedly it's one of the better Iron Man figures from what I'm seeing from a lot of the toy reviews that I've seen thus far. So yeah, let's check this figure out. Alright, before I review this figure, I just want to show you guys my beautiful surroundings. This is what I can see from inside my car. I mean, the streets are covered in snow. I dug out my car, so that's clean. But the streets are not really safe to drive on. I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow to get my errands done. They're not really, I don't know, like, they're not high priority, right? So I don't really want to, I don't want to force it, especially on how bad the road conditions are. So yeah, let's get back to the review. Now let's welcome back my lovely box cutter. All right, so taking a look at this package, it's the standard Marvel Legends package. I mean, now they have that black backdrop with that white and red typography, and then they have the Submariner typography as well. That really nice blue and white text. Really recalls the old days, or the old text. I think that's what he came out to. That's what he was known as before, the Submariner, before he was known as NAMOR. And then on the back, you get this really awesome posed NAMOR in the back. Really cool. I was watching Pixel Dan's review. I think it was either Pixel Dan or Shartimus Prime, and they were talking about how surprised they were that Hasbro put out this figure, because he's basically a naked dude in some trunks, in some scaled trunks, and with feathers or wings on his feet. So they were really surprised at Hasbro putting this out. I mean, I have no problem with it, but I think speaking about how the climate is of everything going, with I guess just having this, like, a naked dude as an action figure, maybe would upset some people. I don't know. But I think when it came down to it, right, like when I was thinking about that and really deciding whether I should pick up Black Bolt first or NAMOR, I was thinking about maybe this figure might get boycotted in the future. I don't know. You never know with these things. I mean, there's so many, you just never know, right? So I figured, I'm gonna get this guy because I really like NAMOR, right? He's such a badass character. I really like the shoulders more than I like the Toy Biz one, right? I like the shoulders in this one better than I like the Toy Biz one. I'm probably going to keep this backdrop because it's really cool. I want to use this as, I don't know, as a poster or something. It looks really cool. I mean, someone took the time to pose this figure, create a backdrop, and it looks nice. I think I want to use that for something. And then they also have the nice illustrations on the side, right? And the same illustration on the other side. But now that I have my lovely box cutter, made by the Pacific Handy Cutter Company, made in Costa Mesa, California. I got this when I was working in the warehouse, right? Made in USA. So shout out to them. So I'm gonna open this guy up and we'll see. We will see what he looks like outside of the box. You get a nice trace shot right there. Look at that. And you get the lovely yellow backdrop as well, with a nice logo on the back. Here you go. That the nice logo on the back, with his own personal trident. Really cool. And you also get a trident accessory in here. Trident accessory, another trace shot here. Then you get a couple of so these are the Build-A-Figure arms for Okoye. And you get an alternate head. You get bearded NAMOR. And Walgreens came out with a NAMOR a couple of years ago with their own Walgreens exclusive, and it's the modernized version of NAMOR, right? With him in like a vest and black pants, so he's more covered up, right? He's more it's a more conservative look at NAMOR. But I like this NAMOR better because this is my first, this was my first representation of this character. And I think I'm gonna keep the shaven face for this NAMOR because that's what I remember him as. I might get the Walgreens exclusive and pop the bearded face onto that figure. I will say though that the hair on this alternate head is much more dynamic than the hair on the stock head. And I want to say it's because this is more of a comic booky type of feel. It's representing the initial version, the first appearance version to a T. So let me get into let's get into the articulation, right? So it's standard articulation for Marvel Legends, right? You get the double jointed elbows, you get the ball joint and the hinge joint in the shoulders, as well as you get the hinge joint, as well as it's pegged as well inside there. For the wrist, you could turn it like this, you can turn it like that, 360. Then you got a nice hinge, so you can flex the hands. Then you get alternate hands as well for swimming action, or karate chops, or if you want to do the old school wrestling chop, the Ric Flair chop, you have those hands available. You get a nice ab crunch here. It's on a ratchet joint when he's doing his stomach crunches. You Get a nice ball joint on the head. And then, oh man, look at the feet. Look at how they sculpted the feet. Look at that. That is just nice. So I mean, it's a really awesome figure. I mean, look at the scales. Like, they took time to detail each and every one of these scales, and every one of these scales are sculpted, not painted on, and that is impressive. You know, they took time to sculpt every single scale on there. Get that to focus. There you go. It's a little bit better. And then also on the legs, I mean, the wings are just fantastic. This is the NAMOR that I remember, with the wings on the legs. Really cool. I hate the stamp on the back. I wish I could find some matching paint so I could paint over that, because I always hate that. That's such an eyesore. But I love this figure. I think it's awesome. I mean, look at how they sculpted the back. I mean, look how muscular that is. And they made it all symmetrical. I mean, the wings on him, the traps, beautiful. Look at that. Look how deep that symmetry in the back is. Beautiful. Look at the triceps. I mean, this mold is fantastic. I don't know if it's a new mold or not, but I mean, look at the abs on him. I mean, every single muscle is just sculpted and sculpted deep. They made him extra muscular. I mean, it's a very nice mold. I mean, they even added the veins. You know, I always complain about the paint for the Marvel Legends figures, that for the Hasbro figures, that it's not very dynamic, and they don't really add extra layer of paints, because normally their figures look flat. But for this particular figure, that illusion is made because of the sculpting, right? So instead of the paint applications, it is replaced by you know, a very, very meticulous sculpting job on the body, and I think that's fantastic. Your eye can make that illusion because of the shades of light that can draw into it, so you don't need those extra layers of paint for this particular figure. So that's great. I am curious how he would look with the bearded face, because I think now in my mind I do want to get that Walgreens exclusive. So I'm gonna take a look at that head. I do know that I want to pick up that Walgreens exclusive just so I could put this bearded face on him. But look at that. That looks cool. I don't think it really fits with this particular figure. I don't think it does. I don't know. I think it's because, you know, first impressions mean a lot. But I think the bearded face works better with the vest, and the more covered up NAMOR. So I think I prefer the comic book look feel to him. And it's such a dynamic face though. I mean, look how really nice that face is. I love the sculpt job with the hair. I mean, it just looks like he's in motion, and that's fantastic. Really good job with that. And let's see. Let's do a dive pose. Let's do that. See how far he could lift his feet. How's that? Is that cool? Look at that. That works. I think that's that would be a NAMOR pose. I think that's cool. So So one last look. I want to do I want to add another look, and I'm going to let's see. I'm going to take out one of his swimming hands. I'm going to put in his gripping hand, and what I want to do is I want to put his fit his trident's scepter into one of his hands. Now, I do like this accessory, but I think it's a bit flat. You know, you get a badass figure like this with the gold on the belt, the gold on the wrist braces, and you know, you get this flat accessory. I would have liked them to add some gold paint on there. I'm not familiar with like what the actual color is of his scepter, but I think it would have fit much better if they would have added some more bits of paint on there. You know, make it look more dynamic. You know, add some more flair to it. You know, break up the paint. I would have liked this to be gold, and you know, painted the paint the snake on there, the sea serpent, I want to say, or is that that's, oh, actually that's a seahorse. Never mind. But you know, that's what I would like them to do. You know, add some more flair to this scepter. Okay, so I don't want this video to run too long, but this is how it would look. He would look with a scepter and the swimming hand. Look at that. Let's see. There you go. That's pretty cool. I will say this though, I saw the initial faces for the Black Panther, I guess the alternate head for Black Panther, and initially I was really put off by that because they seem to have made a mistake. They botched the face, and it looks a little more, it looks more realistic. I mean, they added more detail on it, but they somewhat lightened the skin of T'Challa, and that's quite a botch, really. I mean, it's you know, I want to give them the benefit of doubt and say they didn't do that intentionally, but then again, I don't know what their intentions were with that. So it's quite a botch. It's pretty controversial, and as of right now, that's the only 2 cents I want to give to that, because I don't have the figure in hand. So, and I also have the Civil War Black Panther. So I do want to do I would like to present a comparison of the two. But as of right now, like the figure in hand, the one that we're talking about right now, I think this is a fantastic figure. If you're a fan of, you know, NAMOR, or just a Marvel fan in general, how could you have a collection without NAMOR? You know, so much history is tethered to this guy. I mean, he's just man, he's just a fantastic figure. You know, initially when I look at most of the Marvel Legends, they don't look impressive in the box. I have to admit that they don't look impressive in the box, and that's because of the paint. The paint is not dynamic, and it doesn't draw me into the characters because they're so flat. But once I take them out of the package, you know, a lot of that goes away, because then you could deal with it in a 3D sphere, whereas I'm just looking at it, and you know, I don't know if I'm conveying this well, but when you're looking at it, you're just looking at it, and you're not actually touching the figure. You're not dealing with it in like a tangible means. You're just looking at it. So, you know, just touching this figure gives it a new perspective, and I think I have a new appreciation for this figure, because initially I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed by this figure. You know, I looked at it and I was like, I was looking forward to it, but now that I see it in hand, it's not great when I had it in box. Taking it out of the package changes my perspective totally. I think it's a fantastic figure, and oh man, you cannot be a Marvel fan and not have a Namor figure in your collection. One of the most interesting characters in Marvel Comics in general, right? For me, it's Doctor Doom, right? Doctor Doom, Namor, Wolverine. They have the most intriguing personalities in Marvel Comics. That's my personal view. You don't have to agree with me, but those three have the most intriguing, interesting characteristics and personalities in Marvel Comics. And I think you need at least one representation of those characters in your collection if you're a toy collector and if you're a Marvel collector. So that's my perspective on things. Fantastic figure. Pick them up.